be a final game if they are able to win this one here. So, and you could definitely argue it would give them the momentum, if anything, going into that final game. So, Sync Esports, they are in that spot now. So, I mean, sure, they still have the advantage, but they want to win it here. They want to just get it done and over with, I'm sure. So, we'll see what happens as a result of that, of course. So, the initial bans, Behemoth, Tremble, Puppet Master, Warbeast, coming out right here. So, once again, the Warbeast getting addressed early on. Dr. Repulser, first picked as a result of that. They go Deadwood first themselves. That's interesting.
Yeah, and I think it's a hero that Reason really have been prioritising a lot. Obviously, they normally put it on Zane in the suicide lane, and he does very, very well with it, actually. Like, I haven't seen him play a bad Deadwood game, actually. Even if he gets shot down completely, he does still recover quite well. Obviously, that game against Tree when he was at level 1 for the longest time, but still recovered quite well. There's the Clanks again, Breaky, and I mean, if it worked last game, I guess why not work this game? I mean, I'm a little reluctant of why they picked up Clanks this early on in the draft, though, particularly against Dr. Repulser as well. Unless Reason have ways of dealing with this Dr. Repulser, I still think it's going to run rampant. Like, I've said it time and time again, but Reason, I don't know if they really play a lot of heroes that counter Dr. Repulser. I never really see them play Moira. I don't see them ever play Gunblade, whereas that no one really plays Gunblade, to be fair. But they do play Bloodhunter, but with the Clanks pick up here, I don't think they're going to pick it up.
Yeah, that's it's one of those cases. I mean, sure, they could have maybe tried to wait till after the bans, but it could have very likely been banned, to be fair, by Sync Esports, and really just making the point they just want to. Hey, they're clearly comfortable with it. It worked very well last game. And almost telling Sync is like we're actually pretty confident that you're not sure how to really deal with it. So, well, that could be one way to help deal with it. Energy field can cause issues. So.
And also, I mean, they did pick Clanks into a Dr. Repulser, and I think Dr. Repulser is actually quite decent against Clanks, because I said the biggest issue of what Sync had against Clanks in that game too is they didn't have the best ways of really sort of sitting on Clanks and really shutting him down and sort of focusing him. Whereas Dr. Repulser, with his incredible mobility, he can always be on top of Clanks and sort of shut him down with the eventual Hellflower and Sheepstick, and obviously the opposite charges as well. And Clank, although he's got Shrunken Head, is eventually going to be running out eventually, and that's where Dr. Boss can really sort of find his timing against Clanks in that respect. Yeah.
Well, so we'll see what the final initial pick is for recent gaming here, but yeah, there's a clear and obvious answer for Sync Esports that Zlapj is going to be playing more of the secondary support this game, rather than a jungler, very, very likely at least, unless we see something pretty radical here, like a Carry Glacius or something, but... that final pick for Reason, all right, they go Swiftblade in the end.
So unless they're going to pick up Moira here, they're going to have really no ways to deal with Dr. Repulser. I know I keep on going about this, but I really do think Dr. Repulser is the key issue, or the key reason of why Sync do win so many of their games. But Reason, I mean, they have okay lockdown. Obviously, they got the Deadwood as well, which, as long as obviously you can get the Willowmaker off of Dr. Repulser, they do have the damage to kill him. It's just, can they lock him down is the question.
Yeah.
Deadwood is okay with that, obviously, and, if eventually you can kill the rest of the enemy, the rest of Dr. Repulser's team, well, then obviously Dr. Repulser doesn't do too much, I guess. So maybe that might be the strategy, what they're trying to do.
Yeah. Empath, Kraken, Monarch, Ravener, Martyr, and Magnus coming out there. A lot of M's here. Finish it off. But, yeah, even seen that Martyr ban. And, again, Near mentioned it going into the series. We had him come on real quickly, and he was a real big fan of the Martyr changes, and Monarch as well, which we did see some Monarch play coming out, but... Martyr is has potential. In fact, Sync has run it themselves. We saw earlier in the season, or in the cycle, I should say. After the changes, especially, has potential to be a very powerful support option. So those wings can be very frustrating, and it's almost honestly, I think Martyr could be along the lines too of wanting to get an Nullfire Blade, even kind of like that Jeremiah impact, having that purge against him. But anyways, that's a discussion for another time because he's banned. That's what matters. Pebbles coming out here, though, for Sync. Classic Pebbles pickup. Get that in the hands of Mickey, I'm sure.
So most likely it's going to be the dual support here for Reason, unless they do decide to go for something like Solstice, which they have been running a lot before. But if they do pick up Solstice here, again, it's going to be the issue of there's a lot of farm to go around for Swiftblade, Clanks, and Deadwood. So I'm more sort of drawn towards the dual support lineup here. Nymphora is on the board, obviously the Moira, as I've talked a lot about. Voodoo Jester actually is something that I haven't talked too much about, but I really do rate the hero very, very highly. The hero is incredibly strong. Obviously, you do need a little bit of farm on him and a little bit of levels on him, but I really do rate him very, very good. And it is, I know it's not really a strong counter against Dr. Repulser, but the Cursed Ground, like, if you can get enough burst damage onto Dr. Repulser, even if he flies away, you can still secure the kill with the Cursed Ground, which is a lot of the time, sometimes you see it where your Dr. Repulser or another hero will get away with like 5% HP, but obviously with Voodoo Jester, if you can get that Cursed Ground off, you know, you can still secure that kill. They can pick up Torture here as a first support, but I've got a feeling they're going to throw a curveball in at the 5th pick here, Breaky.
Yeah, sounds like a Balfagor again.
God, no.
Yeah, the Torture pick, and you just mentioned that last game. We don't see a whole lot of Torture nowadays, other than maybe Tree, but Recent Gaming going to give that a shot here, and that final pick is setting itself up, also setting up for Sync Esports. That's what they want to go with.
It's Kaizu hero here.
Yeah. Wild Soul.
Yeah, it's a possibility, honestly, because they don't have the greatest late game. It depends on what kind of strategy that Insania wants the team to run. They can find a timing before, Clanks and Swiftblade and Deadwood come online, so they might pick up maybe a Bubbles here or something that's good early game. Or, like you said, they can maybe try and go into the late game with maybe like a late game pick like Wild Soul. But 1 second left, it's got to pick up Pharaoh, so they are going to try and maybe find their timing on the early side of the game. But there's the sort of curveball I thought I was going to have out, and Jiraiya. So how are they going to run this? Are they going to run a second support Jiraiya, or second support Swiftblade, or second support
Deadwood even? Yeah, that could be possible.
It has to be a second support Jiraiya. Although Near's playing second support Swiftblade then, I guess. Or jungle Swiftblade, actually, to be fair.
Jungle Swiftblade even, yeah.
Not out of the question, but again, though, it is incredibly greedy.
I got it. Well, sorry, but just this Jiraiya pick, though, is kind of getting to me, because Engineer is a decent hero against Jiraiya with the energy field, with the purge effect. So I just don't know how much this Jiraiya pick makes sense here.
Yep, I totally agree with you as well. And not only that, when they picked up the Jiraiya and then not even playing it in a secondary support role is incredibly greedy. I talked about how Sync, what they were going to do with their last pick. They picked up Pharaoh, and this is the sort of strategy that Insania wants to run. He wants to say, like, guys, we want to have a big timing before the 25 minutes, shut the enemy sort of team down, make sure they do not have any space to farm. And with the Pharaoh pickup now, and then obviously the jungle Swiftblade or whatever he's going to do, maybe even roaming Swiftblade, it's incredibly greedy. And with Sync, really not having any late game carry, but incredibly strong early to mid game, I think Reason could be in a sort of situation where they can lose before the 30-minute mark.
Yeah, I hope for Reason's sake, frankly, as a viewer, that we do go to final game and everything. Just sure call me biased, I don't care, but actually, insane. Yeah, kind of taking some Congor damage there, trolling a little bit, I'm pretty sure, but yeah, again, that Jiraiya pickup just a little taken back by that, but we'll see how they're able to ultimately make it all come together here. Again, the secondary support Swiftblade as well in itself very interesting. You see he's at the bottom lane with those boots. They're going to try for something sneaky here, man.
It reminds me of that play that Nova did like ages ago with like Aluna, when they put Aluna in this sort of, and then you'd bait out the support from Sync, obviously, and then when he overextends trying to box out the Zane, obviously, in this lane, then he gets wrecked. Because of overextends. Oh, Swiftblade though.
That ward of sight. Interesting.
He doesn't see him. He's behind the ward.
But that's an interesting placement, and it's close. And now here we go. Since Glacier's out, we're gonna run right into him.
Found him. Hello.
Spin. Rotten grasp. Nope, not going for it. There's rotten grasp, but he knows that's what they're going for. So he goes a pretty clever path right here. You see the freeze onto Deadwood. Very well played by Slapped.
I think actually uproot would have been. I think uproot would have actually been a little bit better than the rotten grass. Obviously, if rotten grass hit, he was going to die. But I think that was going to be hard to hit. If he picks up uproot, it might have been enough to sort of give him slow, sort of catch up with him and get some right clicks in. But nonetheless, it was a nice little play out from Near. But honestly, I think Near's positioning was a little bit bad. Like he gave him the ability to sort of get scouted out. I think if he stayed in that little position there, I don't think Slap would have came up there. But nonetheless, he's going to try and do the same thing mid now instead.
Well, he needs to be careful because he's already lost a little bit of life. He doesn't have any regen on him. He is coming to the middle, but if he's spotted, and he's definitely spotted. I mean, Insania knows he's somewhere around here. He's just trying to find him.
He's fine. He's fine. Pebbles has to be right next to Engineer if they want to get that kill. It's fine.
So is this really just a... Is he even going to attempt to jungle? Is this going to be a pure roaming Swiftblade?
He's just gonna roam, but like I said, it's quite risky, I guess. I mean, they're going mid here, mid lane though.
Now he knows. Now the Kek's not going to miss right there, actually. The flashbang slow down a little bit, but there's a stun, and all of a sudden Swiftblade can't do much more, so...
It's not too bad though, as long as they try and at least shut down Mickey though. It's going to slow down his portal key. If they slow down his portal key, then at least it allows Reason to have a little bit more breathing room in that respect. Because I did say that the big timing here for Reason is can they get into the late game? Can they get past 30 minutes without too much of a struggle? If they can, I'm pretty sure they're going to take this game, but it's a lot easier said than done because Sync, they have a lot of early to mid game pressure.
You got Jeremiah versus Pharaoh here at the top lane, so I'll take a closer look now on how this is breaking down so far. Still early on, but 6-2 Jeremiah versus a 9-1 Pharaoh, actually. Managing pretty well. Jeremiah is leveling up the Righteous Aura so far, as well as the heal, of course. Always want to max that out usually, so...
There've been some lane swaps over here.
Yes,
Clank's going top. I guess they just feel... I guess they just want to secure farm on the Clanks, but at the same time, I think they was doing not too bad, though, trying to shut down Pebbles in the middle lane. I guess they should send Jeremiah mid instead, and then just actually go for a jungle Swiftblade. No, he's roaming as well. It just seems a little bit strange to me. Like, I understand, obviously, they don't want to put Clanks in mid lane because he has the abilities to get shut down and die, for example, but at the same time, you can shut down Pebbles if you play it right. Like, as long as, they don't, play poorly, I think they could be fine in mid lane, but... Because now Pebbles is going to have an absolute free to farm in the middle lane, and he's going to get an early portal key, and then when he gets to maybe a little bit before 15 minutes, Mickey is going to create so much space. And, I don't know, maybe they were just scared of maybe the Glacius rotations mid, so...
Oh, they're going for bottom. Dr. Repulser, Ron grabs it, and this should be good right here. Bloodlust kill, yes, it is going to come out. So all the running around from near finally pays off. And he does get the Bloodlust kill on a Dr. Repulser of all heroes. Actually, a pretty big deal. Right there, so yeah, well played, and he actually even picks up a punch dagger while on his way to Ghost Marchers now, so the roam pays off.
But also, like, if Swiftblade is going to sort of stay down here bottom, then Glacius is going to be forced down here bottom as well. So if they did run Clanks in the middle lane, they have nothing to really worry about by like a Glacius rotation, because Glacius is forced to stay bottom because so is Swiftblade. But alas, though, at least this does actually give Imberboy a way to sort of farm the jungle as well if he's in that short lane, and box out Pharaoh as well. So. It's okay, I guess.
We got Dr. Repulser back down here farming it up, but again, Swiftblade's still hanging about nearby, and if he goes any bit up, then
they saw him.
Catch attempt, but yeah, now they've definitely seen him. Top lane, are they putting some pressure on Pharaoh? Yes, they are. Not enough, though. He's going to be out of range for a kill attempt there. And his mummy wall's on cooldown, so that's why they tried to progress for the kill, but again, unsuccessful, so that will be the end of that. It still is just so funky seeing a roaming Swiftblade coming out, and how his farm's going to increase or not so much throughout this game. We'll keep an eye on. Again, at about 220 gold per minute right now. Again, get to the Bloodlust kill. That's pretty much all of that.
I mean, if he gets Ghost Marchers as well, he'll actually be quite a big threat, actually, to the roam.
And like you said, doesn't even necessarily need to get the kills, just more so providing that threat here. And hell, stealing a farm from Glacius, and then nice catch right there. He is dead. Swiftblade going to chase him down with a spin, and heal if necessary. Not necessary, of course. Yeah, down goes Glacius. Doctor is coming in. He's not level 6 yet, though. Hero's Engineer, however, so they're going to try to cut them off. Jeremiah has his cooldowns, including the heal and his Protector Charm. There's the heal, and he couldn't get the Charm off in time, though. Well played by Pebbles right there with the stun follow-up. And takes him out, so... At least they get a counter kill on Jeremiah, but Swiftblade will survive, and he's going to go finish his Ghost Marchers now. And then meanwhile, you got Pebbles obviously going right back to the middle lane, and he is the top farmer. Mickey once again doing his thing, 340 gold per minute here. Clank's at 300, though. As we saw last game, it was about this mark, but once you got the Thunderclaw, that's where it just gets ridiculous. And the levels start adding up. As actually, Pharaoh's going aggressive here. This is interesting. He's going to start taking some good pressure himself. Puts the mummy walls up, but... yeah.
He's level 6. So.
Biggest tool, I guess, but yeah, playing them pretty aggressive in the process. We'll be fine, though, of course. Top rune. Ooh, it's a haste rune. Can Engineer make a move with this is the question. He's going to maybe try to use it top. I think they are. Pharaoh is level 6, as you pointed out, and yeah, he's going to use the haste rune now. He is going to be spotted by the water side that was just placed.
They're going to try and go for Torture if anyone. I don't think they can kill the Clanks because of the Pork ability.
Yeah.
Yeah, they know though. They know they saw the ward for Engineer. They're just going to back off.
So good control of the rune, but actually, are they still going in?
They're going in.
Yeah, they are. They're committing. Will this work? There comes the TPs. Everybody TPing, and Clanks is going to survive initially. In the long run, will he survive? No, he will not. So Pharaoh gets the kill. And it's going to be a sacrifice in the end, but...
That's a little bit bad play count from Charlie, though. He actually used Impalement instead of the stun. I think if he used the stun instead of the Impalement, I think Clank's could have survived. But in that case, actually, that was a really good trade count from Casey, though. Like, because he'll definitely take that trade.
Yeah.
Kills Clank, shuts him down, reduces his farm, and like I said, Reason need Clanks and Deadwood to really have a good start, because otherwise they're going to get rolled over in the mid game. So good trade from Casey.
Deadwood's level 6 now. He's in the middle lane right here. Currently doesn't have mana for his Willowmaker, but he'll start falling back and perhaps regen that up to 2 have the mana for it, of course. Kind of important. Pebbles, about half-life currently. He's got to play this a little careful, but obviously not the biggest threat right now in the middle lane, at least. And actually, Jeremiah now needs to be careful. I was going to say, yeah, there's the initiation. I don't think it's going to be enough. Yeah, heal's going to be in time, and didn't have the firepower right there. Burst down Jeremiah, but he is out of regen himself, so we'll have to deal with that. Dr. Repulser farming away at the bottom lane in the meantime, 255 gold per minute. Obviously, he had that death earlier on, got bloodlusted, but
he's got ulti again, so that's all they're going to do, is just roam for kills, try and shut down Reason as much as possible, try and delay them and start rolling over them when they start picking up maybe like a 5,000 gold lead, for example. He does get spotted out middle lane, but fun.
Yeah, trying to be a little crafty there. Mickey's pretty good. That's basically what that stat says. Now, 18-2 record on Pebbles is why he's Sync's best hero, and they have lost a game with Pebbles. Oh, they have not lost a game since Cycle 4. They're 6-0 since, so yeah, Pebbles is clearly a signature hero for Mickey and Sync Esports as a team, and actually, roaming Pharaoh does find Torture, doing a bit of roam himself, so Slash just comes out, actually. So they will get a counter kill, and that right now is in favor of Reason Gaming, but Nier is in trouble. Maybe no, he goes back in. Can't heal him while he's in that, though, so got to be a little careful with this as it ends. Get Jeremiah, nice stun on it, Jeremiah, but it's not enough to kill. Yes, it is. A fucking punch on the Pebbles. Dr. Pulsar flies in, and he couldn't get any heal off. Jeremiah was trying so hard, but the crowd control was too powerful, and Deadwood is too going to be picked off. A double tap for Slapped in the end to finish it off. But yeah, that lockdown on Jeremiah was pretty damn big right there from Sync Esports.
I'm surprised he didn't actually use Soul's Blessing while Swiftblade was still blamed for Zine.
Yeah, he thought he could have done it for after, if anything, but yeah,
yeah.
Tried to be risky with it and did not pay off. So maybe learning his lesson there, maybe a little more liberal on using it next time.
Torturer?
What's Torturer? Middle lane, he's dead.
Like that was such a weird play. Like he saw Pebbles was there, and he just ran after Engineer, and then Pebbles just comboed him and killed him.
Yeah,
it's really strange.
Top lane, Pharaoh's actually going to take some good damage. You see the mummy walls put up, though. Of course, Deadwood running in doesn't have his Falcon Punch, but it's not necessary. Yeah, this is without a Thunderclaw. I mean, that's just Steam Boots and his Goon Squad doing work. Middle lane charm is up, but that does not stop the physical. He even pops the Soul's Blessing. He knows that he's in a little bit of trouble here. So.
Oh, he's dead. No,
Chuck? No, it's not enough damage now. Yeah. Nice.
Oh, Doctor though, he's coming in.
Doctor,
not gonna go for it.
Close. Yeah, so good job surviving in the end by Pebble or Jeremiah right there. But in the meantime, Doctor's still not done just yet. In fact, Torture again. Uh-oh. Is he fine? He is fine for now.
Yeah, Pebbles has no mana though, so couldn't set much up really.
Doctor still wants to make something happen, man.
All they want to do is just fight and take action. Oh, Pharaoh's got ulti though.
There you go. There's a quick kill on a Torturer. That's the idea, at least. There we go. There's the kill. Mummy walls go up once again. Jeremiah couldn't get there in time. Tried to get there, but again, the mummy wall is causing issues. And throws out a kill on a Deadwood, actually. Does some good damage to Pharaoh. But I don't think they're going to be able to chase them down in the end. Deadwood does have his ultimate. Not really a comfortable spot to use it, however. Yes, oh, the poor man's portal key. Energy field goes out. Swift Slash is going to be bouncing around. Engineer will survive the initial onslaught, though. Now Swiftblade in trouble. They kill Clanks with that perfect position. The poor man's portal key at its finest right there. Jeraziah will he'll pump down Pharaoh, but another use of it. This one on a Dr. Repulser, and now they're chasing down the Swiftblade, who should have a spin coming up in 7 seconds. There's a charm, and no more poor man potions coming out.
Yeah, but again, the reason I'm just literally playing into Zinc's hands, this is what Zinc want to do. All they want to do is keep on fighting because they know this is their timing. This is where they're strongest at the stage of the game. Reason, they need to sort of try and slow down the game, try and be as passive as possible. Obviously, if you have to rotate over to sort of protect someone or get a kill, then that's fine. But they shouldn't be actively seeking for ganks and seeking for engagements. Imberboy TP didn't really to no avail. Like, he could have been sort of pressuring top to get in the tier 1 tower top. It was very, very low. And securing his Thunderclaw, instead he TPs in and just dies to the engineer ulti, and he's going to be the person who's like really going to carry the team for him. And I don't know, the reason really needs to sort of stop trying to take these engagements, because this is exactly what Sync wants them to do.
Yeah. And now Mickey is going to clean up the triple stack Ancients, and that will be the portal key, depending on how many last hits he gets here actually with it. As, out of mana now, so we'll have to be a little careful not to die in the process. Okay, he has a regenerate though. Yeah, it's going to pop it right here. And we'll go back to finish it off. What's up?
That's unfortunate.
Oh, it canceled it. That is unfortunate. So not the end of the world, but yeah, a little bit unfortunate, definitely. Still able to combo and finish off the rest of them, and yeah, he does have enough now for his portal key. So doing the math right there, figuring that would have been enough, and sure enough, it was.
And this is where it gets really, really, really bad for a reason though, because they've got literally nothing to really address this Pebbles portal key this early. Outside of maybe the Jeraziah, they've got nothing. Clanks will instantly die from a combo, so will Swiftblade, so will Torturer, even Jeraziah to an extent as well, I think, if they get one more follow-up, which normally they always will. Like, Mickey won't be sort of ganking by himself, he'll have, you know, Keizu or Slaps with him. So, and bottom lane, yep.
That was just great execution. Yeah, the rocket, they knew somebody might have been over there. They were just scudding out the rocket. Sure enough, as soon as the rocket hit and saw Swiftblade, they just jumped in with Wrath of the Pharaoh. And then everyone else. And no chance for him to even react the slightest.
And this is where the snowball starts to happen as well from Sync. And I don't think it's going to stop until 35 minutes. And that's if Reason can even get to 35 minutes, honestly.
Yeah.
They've got Thunderclaw on Clanks, which is obviously the good news. And they just need to get him farmed as possible, but he's still at least 2 or 3 items before he really needs to be, and that's obviously 20 minutes away practically. It's just, can they hold on for Clanks and, you know, Deadwood to really get the items they need? But it's going to be very, very difficult now, because, you know, Sync can take every single team, but middle lane as well. Jeraziah is going to be fine.
He uses Soul's Blessing, and there's a charm too. So again, he survives, but I mean that's another big team cooldown that he's using individually just to stay alive there, which, so it's definitely, it's the case, it's like, sure, it's worth it, but you're setting your team back and yourself back as a result of it as well. And now Sync knows that they don't have to worry about that being a threat. They're going bottom lane. Swiftblade, he's in a lot of trouble right here. Glacius nearby, Ghost Marcher's in. Oh, geez, there's going to be a combo, and that's an easily killed Swiftblade. Glacial downpour to do it. Now, Imberboy does push in the top tower during all of this, but the rest of his team is somewhat struggling. He's sitting about 377 gold per minute. So, unlike last game, Clanks doesn't really have that counterpart with him that also is doing very well. Last game, you know, the War Beast. Yeah. This time around, it's really going to be just him at this point. And that's going to be dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, they have, like, gank presence, obviously, with the Deadwood, and obviously the team fight presence from Jeraziah. So it's not, like, that bad, but still, the fact of the matter is I think Sync can take every single team fight they want until Clanks gets a strong head, and that's a while away. And I don't think he'll even rush running it after Thunderclaw. Oh, Jeraziah might be in trouble as well.
This is interesting. Now he knows they're here, and now he's going to be coming out as soon as he does. He gets jump first. How does Mickey react that fast? Jeez.
I don't know, man.
That was the idea, that he was going to go in and kind of sneak attack. Now, did Mickey just do what I think he did? Yes, he did.
Oh, what a play.
Oh, jeez. Dropping the portal key to take off the cooldown, and then picking it right back up, because why not? Mickey doing Mickey things. Yeah, we've seen him do that multiple times here.
Yeah, what a player. Yeah, that would have been actually a really nice pickoff, actually. It would have sort of stopped the snowball from Pebbles completely. But now he's still 415 GPM highest kill, high GPM.
Yeah.
Porky's away as well from Swiftblade, so he's going to be fine. But yeah, Sync are only 6,000 gold ahead, and I say that lightly because it's most likely going to increase. And reason they don't have any ways of really doing anything until Clanks gets really farmed, and that's going to be a while. And this is going to go back to the draft, honestly. Like I said, they were a little bit greedy in terms of their draft, and they're definitely paying for it now. Like Reason have to sort of commit 3 heroes just in the middle lane, and the farming is a lot reduced because they have to group up because of the Pebbles portal key.
There's healing out the middle lane here, just getting a little bit of farm more, again, what he can. Swiftblade trying to finish his own Energizer. He's going to use a spin. He should be fine, yeah. He saw Pebbles coming in with that Veiled Rot, but able to get away, of course, and does survive. Yeah, Glacius is leveling up that Aura, now level 3, soon to be level 4 possibly. And again, that's not only more mana regen, but ever since that changed, it's going to be eventually 200 mana to that mana pool. And, you know, for a hero like Pebbles especially, it's such a powerful assisting tool for him and his whole team. So choosing to level that up makes a lot of sense here. Bottom lane, speaking of Pebbles, can make you react too quickly this time. There's a Falcon Punch, will he need to? He puts the combo out, he's still alive, not long enough though. That was close, but the Rotten Grasp holding him in place. Just long enough for the kill, so that's a very necessary kill. And again, you see the gold streak stopped. Or the streak stopped, and that's where we saw getting that gold.
Yeah, really big pickoff as well, and slows down the snowball potential. And Clank is going to rush. He is going to actually rush the Shrunken Head, which makes sense, I guess. But still, it's going to be awkward to really get them into the late game though, because although they got 1 pickoff on Pebbles, I think even if Sync take a team fight, Reason are still going to be behind.
It's pretty ridiculous. Just all the time, Sync is just so good at spreading out that farm and, you know, making sure even the supports get... Just look at the items that Engineer and Glacius have.
Yeah.
Ghost Marchers on both heroes, for one, is just crazy in itself. But then you got a Portal Key on Glacius and an Energizer on Engineer. I mean, that's just ridiculous. Having that utility on heroes like that, it's
important.
It's very good, yeah.
It's really important, particularly for these early to mid engagements as well, because like a level 10 Engineer is really useful. Like it could even be stated, like, say, a little bit more useful than maybe like a Deadwood or Jerizite in team fights. And you compare it to like a Torture. Actually, Pharaoh though.
He goes in right here. No, actually, Swiftblade going to do the return damage and ends up killing him in the process. So well played by Swiftblade. Swift flashes.
Oh, Pebbles!
Big part of that. Oh yeah, Pebbles down here too. He gets caught by the rest of them, and he goes down. Now back to Swiftblade. He's going for Glacius. Out comes the freeze. We'll stall the initial jump on him, and it will actually keep him alive. But a couple of hero pickoffs here for Reason Gaming, and it is because now, again, Imba Boy is really starting to excel now, and this is going to be a tower kill for them.
Exactly, and 2 big pickoffs on Pebbles as well. Now his Snowball has sort of slowed down quite a bit, only 360 GPM, and honestly, I expected Sync to be a lot further ahead in terms of these early to mid engagements, just because of the heroes they've got. Pharaoh, Pebbles with Portal Key now, even Dr. Repulser is kind of an early to mid game hero that can sort of snowball a lot. And Reason that they're holding him quite well, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, they are. And again, this game, the start, you know, wasn't atrocious by any means. They had a decent start, but when it started developing into the early stages, it seemed like Sync again, building up some momentum, and here they are. You know, they still have a solid lead here, 4,000 gold and 3,000 experience, but Reason, as they've been showing throughout yesterday and throughout today, even both games, that they can persevere as well. They're not going to let them face them too much.
Oh, Torture.
Chances, but Torture is
to
able dodge the wrath of the Pharaoh, and actually will survive as a result. That was a very good sidestep on his part. KZ not able to line it up here. Good getaway, and he actually has barbed armor already too. Jeez, on Pharaoh here. That's a good pickup against a hero like Clank. Again, that kind of the uncontrollable AOE damage coming out can kind of backfire onto him. So.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, Sync are starting pushing to push a bit. I don't think Reason want to take this team fight without Shrunken Head on Clanks, and unfortunately, the lanes are not pushed out enough for Reason to have to split push. Torture, this time you are dead, unfortunately.
No wrath of the Pharaoh, but not even needed right there. Falcon Punch in the meantime on Engineer. He put the energy field down, so in a sense did his job. Will he be able to follow this up? In comes Dr. Repulser, flying in the Glacial Downpour, doing some plenty of damage as well. Pharaoh on the front lines, pushing the Mummy Wall up. Did not catch Clank, though, and now Clank's turning around with the damage. But Pebbles comes in, he chucks him to his teammates. Down goes Swiftblade. Clank's using that Hawk, though, and abusing it. Goes over the ledge. Is fine. Zane a double tap in the process. Is he still dead, though? Portal Key is trying to dodge right here. There's the slow, the freeze. Oh, my God, he's still alive. Nope, never mind. He's like, I'll take care of that. And down he goes. They also got Zane as well. Jeez.
I'm really surprised they Reason wanted to say that team fight. First of all, Torture had died, and then they sort of TP'd into an engineer ulti. And like I said, I don't know why they're trying to take team fights without Strong and Head on Clanks. Torture did as well. And this is the Snowball I was trying to say. Unfortunately, the lanes were not pushed out as well. So Reason kind of, I guess they were a little bit forced to take that team fight because they couldn't really split because lanes were pushed in favour of Sync. And without showing head on Clanks and this early mid game sort of style of draft from Sync, they're just inevitably going to win these team fights.
Yeah. You see Mickey, you can't look at this. He has an invis for it. He's going to look for even another pickoff, and he could find it. Swiftblade's coming over. Oh, geez, going to run right into it. Does he have enough damage?
I don't know. I don't think he has the damage.
Well, with a little bit from the creeps, it might actually put it over the edge. He does have Glacius coming over. Oh, geez, Swiftblade's in trouble.
Easy.
Yeah, no, he's dead. We know it's coming. It's just a matter of time.
Pebbles, I don't know what Pebbles wasn't with him.
They're being so sneaky, man. Look at he's like, oh, I'm gonna go kill Engineer. Oh, jeez, now you're dead.
No, he's dead. No, he actually is dead.
There's the jump from Pebbles. Here comes a follow from Glacius, and the kick's done to secure the job. Mickey gets credit for the kill. Meanwhile, down here, Pharaoh's trying to get away. He's by himself currently, but not gonna happen. So he gets picked off at least. And Congor is open. I wouldn't be surprised.
They can't take it. No, they can't take it.
Okay.
If they had Abyss or Swiftblade, maybe, but without it, they take it far too quickly and they would take far too much damage. Sync could just wipe that and take it from there.
Yeah.
So.
Clean up the Ancients instead is Imba Boy, and get some good farm out of that. Of course, using the Goon Squad, again, that's the reason why it's such a powerful tool for him. It's a fairly low code, only 60 seconds. aka 1 minute, so able to use it for farming purposes as well, such as those Ancients. Bottom lane, Mickey's here. It seems like once again he's just everywhere on the map, and that will be enough to kind of scare off Freezing Gaming, and understandably so. So that they do start falling back. Dr. Repulser, Flensmeister's been honestly very quiet this game, I feel like.
Yeah.
Kind of a 4-1-6 though, says otherwise, I guess, but we really haven't been talking or noticing too much from him. But he's been doing his thing. He went to Nullstone first, which is a little different than usual, but you know, against heroes like Deadwood and I guess Swiftblade too, you know, definitely has its purpose. Huh. Interesting. 0-4. Dr. Repulser and Pharaoh 0-4 together? Really?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big fan of Pharaoh, though, really. I don't think he's, like, that strong. What is his win rate, actually, Quincy? I don't know. I think the hero doesn't offer too much. Like, until you get Barbed Armor and Puzzle Box, I think the hero is kind of pretty bad, really. But with Puzzle Box, he becomes a entirely another hero.
Well, I mean, he's one of the longest initiating heroes in the game, other than
yeah,
like,
40%. Yeah, I thought so. I did think he was going to be good. I don't know. Like, you play it in scrims and it just doesn't feel it does anything on it outside of the long range initiation. But in team fights and that, it just doesn't offer amazing.
It's kind of a mess.
Utility, really. Yeah.
Mummy Walls can be a little. It can be great, but it can also hurt your team in a sense with the positioning of it. So just got to be a little careful with it. And they're gonna get a free push in the middle lane here. All right. That's middle tower dead, increasing their lead and experience that much more. However, a big fight starting off. The Willowmaker right off the bat. On it, Pebbles. Pebbles dead. Now, will they be able to capitalize the question? Make Glacial Downpour. It's doing so much damage. However, he does fall shortly after. The Soul's Blessing preventing a lot of damage in the process as Dr. Repulser barely able to get away. Engineer Keck's done. Now, guess who popped back?
Oh,
Mick is coming back in. I think he might be a little bit too late, though. Yeah, he gets there too late, and it ends up being a double tap for Imbo Boy, and well, the reason comes out on top of it, definitely.
As long as Clank survives and he continues boosting up his GPM, it's doing good. And like I said, I honestly thought Sync would be doing a little bit better than they are at the moment. Yeah, they're still 6,000 gold ahead, but you know, the longer this game goes on, the better it's going to be in favour of Reason. They've got Clanks, but also they've got Gerazar to back him up as well. Sync have no inherent null Fireblade carriers, so it's going to be decent. And even though Clanks has bought the Shrunken Head, like if they can get the Protective Charm on him as well, like he's going to be completely invulnerable to most, if not all, of Sync's damage. Like there's no physical presence really outside of maybe Pebbles' right clicks and maybe a little bit of right click damage from Dr. Repulser as well. And yeah, I mean, they're only 4 kills ahead, which, honestly, with the early and mid-game draft, I expect it to be a little bit better, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's... Again, it's a little bit different story from last game, but it has its similarities too. For a reason gaming, again, the fact that Clank is up there at 460 GPM and only going to get bigger and better. And sure, I'm pretty sure it's safe to say Sync knows that they need to address Clanks, but it is the case, though. It is a lot easier said than done, especially when you have a Jeremiah support, in a sense, ready to apply that charm, get the heal, even the Soul's Blessing out. So,
I mean,
are we going to see a Nullfire Blade here, you think? I would think one of those, maybe Engineer even.
Nah. The problem with getting a Nullfire Blade on a support though is that you don't really have supports up in the front realm that much, and you don't see him just sort of right clicking and sort of being able to use the protective charm. I guess these supports are a little bit different though, because they are quite farm compared to your regular feed instantly supports. So I guess it wouldn't be too bad, but I was going to say, going back to actually, they do have some ways to deal with the Clanks right now. That Hellfire picks up on Dr. Repulser, so he can fly in, Hellfire into Clanks, and then as long as they get the fallout from Pebbles, they can win these team fights without a doubt. Actually, Pharaoh, though, bottom lane.
Jeez, that jump right there. He popped the barbed armor at the last second, but by that point it didn't matter, of course. Yeah, great jump by the Hellborn team. And at the top lane, Torture and Swiftblade, they're chasing out Engineer. Nice kicks down to prevent that initially. He does have a TP. He wants to, save it,
Hasted Pebbles, though.
Hasted Pebbles is coming in, maybe.
Torture is well dead, man. They took well too long trying to kill this Engineer, and they're in trouble.
Swiftblade, he needs to get out.
Oh, he should have spun. No, why did he spin TP?
Yeah.
Spin TP, man. Oh, God.
Always spin TP, even Swiftblade.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, no, he had it up. That was just simply an oversight on his part. He thought he was going to be fine in the end. So he's dead. He's not buying back, and now Sync's going to capitalize with an easy tower kill top.
And they were so close. I mean, they took so long to try and kill that Engineer as well. And this is why Burst is so admired or sort of desired. Sorry, actually, mid lane Engineer Kieran.
Support's going at it, but Engineer a little more farmed and leveled than him. So,
but yeah, going back to the Burst sort of point, why Burst is so desirable is that you can burst someone and instantly get out. Because if a sustained gank lasts, past 10 seconds, you can expect, particularly a team like Sync, they will rotate over and try and help their teammates. They took at least 15 seconds to try and kill that Engineer, and by that time, Hasted Pebbles did come in. That was a little bit lucky in that respect, but still, you have to be quick, one and done kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
I see the Legion team falling, or the Hellborn team falling back right here. Clank's cleaning up the rest of the Ancients, and that's that Firebrand. In fact, Geometer's being going to be purchased. Is it going to be on Engineer? Yeah, he is going
Engineer,
for it.
yeah. So I think this makes a little bit of sense. Though normally, for example, when I was talking about Nullfire Blades on supports isn't very good. I'm thinking about the Torturer with Stride. If Torturer try to go Nullfire Blade, obviously it's not really useful in this game. But I'm just sort of trying to make a point. He's going to die before he can even use it, kind of thing. But in the case of Engineer, he's got Energize. He's a little bit tanky. 1200 HP. But the Nullfire Blade will actually be useful because he won't instantly die in the team fight. Torturer, on the other hand, won't get any use of it if obviously he needs to get it, kind of thing. So yeah, I think the pickup here on the Engineer Nullfire Blade is going to be quite useful actually.
Swiftblade spinning back this time, using it defensively right there, just in case he was jumped, because you see Doctor and Glacius are up here. Now the Hellborn team, they're making their way over. Torture getting some vision ahead of them as a double jump chance. Deadwood's ready to go. You see a portal key on Jeremiah as well for that positioning purpose, as we mentioned last game. Not going to find it, though. Instead, Clanks will come in now. He has a double damage room, by the way. You do not want to fight them right now. It's already tough fighting Clanks, let alone with that DD, so going up the top. But we'll see what they do with the double damage. I believe that has another minute at least on it. Yeah, it's minute 13 and counting. So, but I'm pretty sure the first digit is covered up. But anyways, point being, it's going to be using that here in the near future. What kind of use we'll make of it. Nullfire Blade finished on Insania. At least he purchased the pattern. It's going to be delivered to him now. So once again, going back to that. See Pharaoh scouting out Congor just in case. Was that a Null Stone? I'm pretty sure it was. Onto Clank. So not going the Geometer's Bane, actually.
It's needed because of Dr. Repulser Hellflower. He can jump in Hellflower in before he gets strong enough, obviously, and then they're going to lose the team fight. With this Null Stone, he has the ability and the time to actually pop his Shrunken. So I actually really do like the pickup. And now with Token as well, Breaky.
Yeah.
I don't know, Recent are definitely back in the game. Yeah, definitely.
Like I said, it's not only they're down 2-1, sure, but they were down 2-0. They won the last game. If they win this game, that would put them on a 2-game winning streak going into what would be the final game. So I know it's kind of silly to look at from the ultimate big perspective in that sense to an extent, but at the same Sync, they want to win now. They want to win now and be finished.
I mean, I remember when something that Swindleman used to talk about all the time, momentum. Like, you get two game winning streak, you know, that's a big thing, honestly. A lot of confidence boost, demotivation for the other team, so it's big. I think Reason are looking for a fight, though. They want to use this token on Clanks, and I think they can do it as well. No stronger heads on Sync, and Lensmeister.
Doctor. All right, he's going to be able to fly around, be fine initially. He's TPing out. They don't have the stun for him, so.
Yeah. They had no catch. Deadwood was too far away, so Deadwood is their only catch. So.
This is their only hope. Clanks will instead just go back to farming in the process.
But yeah, I mean, Sync took a decent advantage, obviously, with the early to mid game with about 8,000 gold ahead. But I think they have missed a bit of their timing, honestly. Though I expected it to be maybe 10, 15,000, and because of that lead, you know, they can rotate over to take racks, for example. But Reason have done a really good job delaying the game, getting a few pickoffs here and there to really keep them in the game. Obviously, with Deadwood, for example, and now Clanks. I mean, he can't really be stopped in terms of farm sort of central, because he's going to keep on getting higher and higher GPM, and with the token as well, he's safe for another 3.5 minutes, which is going to be quite nice.
Yeah. Look at that stat right there. That's actually a very interesting one to me. How Dr. Repulser, past 45 minutes, his win percentage goes down quite significantly, down to 35.3%. So, safe to say, you know, not the most late game potential hero. He's all about that early snowball and working off of that traction, of course. So that's you know, that's kind of a key mark here for Reason Gaming. As I say that, Boy going to be jump right here. He has a token, remember. Can they at least force it to be? Oh my God! The return damage on demonic breastplate Pebbles just melted right there. And now Dr. Repulser, it's his turn, says Clanks. Can he get out? No, he cannot.
Oh
a
man!
Double tap.
What is happening, Breaky?
I am just shocked at how fast Pebbles fell right there.
Man, what is happening? Clank is happening, Breaky. 2 games in a row. He's doing so much work, and Sync, they are literally on the back foot now. Although they're ahead by 1,000 gold, I mean, I think this is Reason's game now.
No, they're the ones in control, even though the stats still say Sync slight favor, but no doubt Clanks is just getting off the charts here. And if this does happen to go on, you got to think Sync is like, okay, we're banning Clanks. Because clearly he's been the big difference maker in both the last game. And now what is this game 3 right here, trying to force a final game. So Clank's going back in, or pushing in. Again, he still has a token. And he's getting the heal every now and then from Jeremiah to go back up. So he's good. Yeah, with that null stun, the protective charm, it's how can you deal with that?
And they don't want to push this though. Like, they've still got, you know, the rest of the game to take this late. Dr. Repulser, obviously, the stat posted by Quincy, the effectiveness and its sort of win percentage does drop off. And Clanks and Swiftblade, like, this is the Swiftblade that was secondary support, but he still is the Swiftblade, so he can still go into the late game. Deadwood obviously scales quite well into the late game. I mean, the strength reduction there on the Pebbles was clearly evident, instantly bursted him down. But also Jeremiah as well, really does scale well into the late game. And obviously, you've got the Clanks not to forget. So. Yeah, Reason are in no rush here, and this is what I mentioned as well about the Pharaoh. Like, the hero just doesn't do anything, man. Like, it's 2.8 and 9, 230 GPM, and outside of the first 15 minutes, the hero just has fallen off completely. He's got nothing to, like, it's not like he's fighting against a Tempest where he has to, you know, cancel 10% on it. He just, I don't know, Break. Yeah, I'm really not a big fan of Pharaoh.
Yeah, well, obviously there's nothing they can do about that now, having to, you know, make the best of it for what they got, but. Something they'll definitely be thinking about if we happen to go to a final game. But, you know, it's as much momentum as Reason's gaining here. It is still Sync Esports, after all, arguably the strongest team right now on the scene as far as especially even comebacks. Again, it's, you know, we stress that so much with State Green when they were on the scene now. Not only did they win a lot, but they won a lot of games that they were behind earlier on and whatnot. So Sync has kind of showing that throughout this season. They haven't always been in the big-time lead. And again, to be fair, the stats still say they are technically in the lead as far as overall stats go, but Reason does have that momentum going for them. What is this about?
Yeah, okay. And I mean, oh, what was this?
His only loss was in a 22-minute game, so
yeah, exactly. His scale is really, really nice, but I mean, I think they still have good room to improve and scale as well. Obviously, Dr. Pulse is still decent, so is Pebbles, and Engineer is still not to be understated. Obviously, I think Reason have got the better late game, but you know, Sync, they're in obviously not a massive rush to kind of, you know, end the game. They don't need to sort of make any misplays for that. Engineer though.
Yeah, where is he? Oh, yeah, he's getting cut out. So Slashes were already used right here. You see the Purge onto Swiftblade slowing him down, and there we go. There's a spin TP. learning from before.
That stun was immaculate from Insania as well. Perfectly timed. Just when the Swift Slashes ended from Swiftblade, he got stunned by it. Engineer actually sort of stunned while the Swift Flashes were actually still mid animation, so that's actually a really nice stun.
Clank's also prioritizing getting the wing one. I love that instead of the Geometer's Bane for multiple reasons. They're not going to get a Savage Mace on this Legion team, I don't think, ever.
Yep.
Maybe the Doctor eventually, but that's going to be for a while. And then the Geometer's Bane, yeah, he already has an Old Stone with the Shrunken Head with the Protective Charm on top of that. So he already has a lot of defensive mechanisms, so he really didn't need to prioritize into a full Geometer's Bane, I think it's safe to say. So yeah, nice pickup from him there.
Definitely. I'm wondering, this is where it gets a little bit awkward for Clank though, because like he's closing in and actually getting 6-slotted, and it's only 36 minutes into the game, which is a little bit of a bad thing. If he goes Geos here, it's going to obviously increase even further defensive capabilities. Obviously, you can purge off the Nullfire and any kind of slows or anything like that, and that Sync might give out to him. But at the same time, he kind of wants to keep the Thunderclaw as well, because it just synergizes quite nicely with the hero. But if he goes like Geos into like Thunderclaw, obviously he might upgrade it into a charged hammer. I don't know if he has all that damage like into the late game, like because he hasn't got like Savage Mace, he hasn't got Rift Shards.
He doesn't got the raw damage item. No,
yeah,
I see what
exactly.
You're saying. I think you could argue selling the Thunderclaw even. He already brings a lot of AoE presence, a lot of magic, as you point out with this Goon Squad. Does he really need the Thunderclaw? Like, that was more a farming tool in the process at the beginning. So I could see him selling that, possibly getting Savage Mace instead, but we'll see. Oh, that's okay. Demonic Breastplate in the works for Deadwood in the meantime. So you got the Warp Clef purchase right there. So they're going to be hanging around the Congor pit once again and waiting for that to pop up. That should be soon here, in the near future at least, probably another couple minutes or so. Double damage here, and yeah, right next to Deadwood, or to Clank's even. So maybe they're going to try to hold on to that, if anything, to possibly wait for the Congor kill, but attempt, I should say. Yeah, both the two winning teams so far in this series have been Legion. Again, we were kind of talking about that. Near pointed to that, or we brought it up with Near before the series, and like I said, Hellborn advantage. But just go figure, both teams have been Legion that have won this so far.
Yeah,
but reason to change that here.
I mean, I think game 1 and 2 though from Legion, they were a little early to mid game oriented. Obviously, the game where Reason played wasn't as that much, but the Congor sort of Hellborn advantage really is more prevalent in later stages of the match, because obviously Congor means there's that much more.
Man, Swiftblade, good reaction right there. He put keys away just in time. I was going to say, what is he doing there? I thought he was dead for sure, honestly, but didn't realize he had a portal key, to be fair, and that he does, and uses it to get away, so good to get away on his part. And actually, Recent Gaming wants to fight. You can tell. They're ready to go with Clank's already charm on him and everything else. It's understandable, but I don't know if Sync is going to oblige to that. Now, they do have a Sheepstick on Dr. Repulser, so yeah, he's got a Hellflower, Sheepstick, that Nullstone. He's getting at a pretty secure point here with his item set. He also got a Hellflower in the works for Pebbles, I believe. He's only lost twice when he's over 550 gold per minute. Last one being Cycle 3. You see right here, it's about 580 gold per minute. Yeah, not often a carry hero with that much farm will end up losing a game, but
I think they're going to try and make a play with DD on Clanks. The DD was running out, so they have to sort of use it right now. They're going to try and make a play if they can. Oh, Pebbles!
He's going to run right into them. Now, can they get the jump first? They cannot. Deadwood did not react in time. I mean, he could have portal keyed, but
that would have been big as well.
Yeah.
Because they had DD Clanks and they would have got the jump as well. But alas, going to back off.
Falls back, and instead they'll push out some lanes here. The top lane was being pushed in. I believe that was Doctor, as he just ported back to base, though. So keeping the mock. But another Hellflower. Jeez, I didn't even see Pharaoh, though, working on one, too. So they're going to have 3 Hellflowers here. As
they just
want
to look down his Clanks, man.
Yeah, that's, or
they
or
just
the support, like the Jerizaiah, too.
Well, yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. They just want ways to sort of sit on the Clank. So, like I said, like Clanks is like 80% of Reason's team fight right now. If they shut down Clanks and kill him, then they're going to win the game and win the team fight.
If you're Sync Esports, isn't it safe to say that your priority is Jerizaiah? You just burst him down?
Yeah, you burst Jerizaiah and then let Dr. Repulser sit on Clanks after that. Because Jerizaiah is probably actually going to be the easier kill than Clanks. But you can't instantly just go on Clanks because Jeremiah is going to be there to back him up.
That's why Jeremiah got the portal key, though, to be fair. But yeah, here we go, Sync with the Veiled Rock gank. Here's a big chance to jump on a Switchblade. They heal right off the bat, but they lock down Jeremiah with the Sheepstick. Torture also falling. Jeremiah going to fall in the end. Clank sitting with the right click, though. Look at the freaking damage. They get 2 kills. Dr. Repulser goes down, and now Pebbles on the run. Jeremiah fights back, and Pebbles going to fall. So again, they got a great initiation, but Clank is sitting on the outskirts, just right-clicking. Oh my god, oh, he's attacking the mummy.
He's hitting the mummy walls. Oh my god. I mean, it's not the biggest of deals because they can take Congor now, but still. This is what I mean, Breaky. Like, yeah, killing the supporting cast is fine, but you gotta freaking lock down that Clanks, man. And they actually had a really good initiation as well. Instantly bursted down the Torture and the Swiftblade, and they had a nice sheep stick onto Jeremiah as well to stop that, but again, this Clanks man is doing so much damage. Jesus.
Ridiculous. And look at this. Speaking of ridiculous, it's a little bit different. Slap's getting a Staff of the Master on Glacius. That is not a hero I would have ever expected to see a Staff of the Master on, let alone because he's usually a main support. But that is crazy. He drops the Thunderclaw, by the way, to pick up the token. He puts it on the Courier. But he does have the Token of Life. But, yeah, I mean, the Staff of the Master on Glacius, of course, increases the ultimate damage. That's interesting. Wants to try to assist with that, but that is 4,200 gold that he just spent on that rather than maybe another crowd control item. But they do have a lot of those as well. I don't know.
Man, the issue still is though this Clank though. Like, it doesn't even matter like what Glacius is doing. They need to shut down this Clanks. They even had like probably one of the best initiations as well, but it doesn't even matter because Clank's doing too much. They need to shut down the Clanks. It doesn't even matter now. It's simple as they literally killed.
Hard?
they literally killed all of Reason's team, but Clanks like 1v5 all of them. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I think killing Clanks is on paper it's like just kill Clanks. In practice though, that's a lot harder than done because you see this is the reason right here. He's got the charm. He's got the Null Stone. What can he do about that? AKA nothing. Yeah, Null Stone's on him, so. They kind of have to deal with it. He's able to purge off the Nullstone at least for now, but that's going to be coming back up in 15 seconds here.
They actually got great sieging potential now as well. They got Wingbow and Clanked as well as the token, but also the protective charm is just really look. He's put it on him, and then they just right click the base, and there's nothing they can do.
Yeah.
Unless they need actually a portal key on Engineer, so they can portal key Nullfire, because Engineer's not going to be able to walk up to him. Or is he? Okay, he is.
Maybe Deadwood. He's running in. Now, while this is happening, Doctor, those are just illusions, so putting some pressure at the top lane. Kind of making Reason Gaming second-guess themselves, if anything, as far as what they want to do. But no, the illusion's going to be picked off here, so not the biggest deal in the world. There's a Purge, Clanks. He's going to be jump right here. He gets chucked back in. Remember, he has a token, so there's the burst, but he's going to come right back up. Will this be enough in the end? They're locking him down once again. They're slowing him down. Everything Jeremiah. He pops all the missing, but the Purge! From the energy field, exactly what we mentioned from the drafting stage right there, and it comes through big time. 4 players are dead.
That was
Deadwood, the only survivor, but yeah, the energy field, it did exactly what they wanted it to do.
That is so difficult to do, but they executed it perfectly. Like the biggest thing though is that they had to kill Clanks is while energy field was up, so when he respawns he's still going to be affected by the energy field when he pops back up, and then they kill him again, so he isn't able to use the Shrunken Head. And Jeremiah tried to obviously help him out with the Soul's Blessing and the Inner Light, but obviously the Nullfire Blade from Engineer, that is such a hard but well executed play from Sync right there, and this might be Rax, although Clank does have a buyback.
He does have a buyback. Now Dr. Repulser going straight for the top tower. He picks it off. Deadwood is still alive. You see the buybacks happening though. Everybody buying back except for the Swiftblade, who even has one. But Jeremiah, that will be his final buyback. Everyone at least has one, including Clanks. Sync is going to fall back from there. So yeah, very good attempt. But you're right though. Sync just really playing that so well.
That was the only way they could have done it as well. Like they took off Null Stone from Clanks initially, then Pebbles tossed him back into the energy field, and then they killed him before obviously energy field went down. They killed him, and he brought back up, and then they killed him again while energy field like. The only good thing for Reason I have to realise that is that I think Sync can only accomplish that if Reason are pushing into the base, because you can simply not coordinate that in a chaotic fight, outside of the base.
Yeah.
When Reason are pushing in like that, Sync already they can set up, they can get themselves prepared. But in a big team fight, outside of the base, it's too chaotic to really do that. And because of that, Clanks can really take benefit of the chaos in terms of the team fight. But yeah, I honestly thought though he was going to be fine though. Like he had token as well as the protective charm, and he has like the wing bow as well. But no, it's perfect execution, and I can't honestly state how hard that is to do. Because if one aspect of that goes wrong, they wipe the team fight there, they lose the game. But I mean, Sync clearly showing that they are professionals.
It really is interesting looking at the goal per minute charting and kind of comparing it to how much of an impact that really is showing in this game. And you look at, again, Clanks is up there. That's not been a secret. He's been the top farmer for a while now. He's getting the farm most certainly, but it really drops off. Swiftblade's second on the team at 276. Then when you factor in that each of these heroes, especially Jeremiah, he's used 2 buybacks, and he's only farming 224 gold per minute right now. And it shows you the items that the supporting casts have, and you kind of compare that to what Sync has on their supporting cast. The 2 different Hellflowers, the Barbed Armor, the No Fireblade, of course, in this case, the damage assistance with the Staff of the Master from Glacius, compared to the Hellborn team where you got Deadwood with the Demonic Breastplate, an Abyssal Skull on Swiftblade, and Jeremiah really not bringing much but maybe a portal key, you can argue, but it just is not the same exactly. So
that's why they're all so in on Clanks, and I'm really surprised they haven't picked up a Storm Spirit though, because if they have one Storm Spirit there, Clanks won't die and they can turn that team fight. So Storm Spirit is so much needed in the works. Anyone should just buy it. Whoever's got the most amount of power should buy a Storm Spirit, because if Clanks dies, they lose the team fight, as you saw in the last team fight. Clanks got bursted down, and the rest was history practically. Yeah. So they need a Storm Spirit, because the Storm Spirit is the best item for counter initiation and really defensive capabilities like that.
Well, everybody is up, of course, for the time being for Reason Gaming right now. So, again, using a bit of buybacks right there. Once again, including Jeremiah being out of buybacks now. But here we go with Imba leading the way on that Clanks and pushing back out the middle lane. Again, he's still sitting with that Thunderclaw here, and you figure, if anything, that he may sell that to go for more damage, or he may just upgrade it into a Charged Hammer as well. That's obviously his choice, and we'll see what he values here. That would be a full slotted items. They catch Pebbles, and this is a big chance for a huge pickoff. And he does have a buyback, but it would be his final buyback, with that said.
I think they should force it, but play very... It's difficult though, because if they try and force out the buyback, yes, it will be important because obviously it's his final buyback, but if he buys back, I'm pretty sure they can turn and kill Clank, because he doesn't even have a token.
Yeah.
So risk they're willing to take though, it looks like.
Well, there we go, the secondary tower. That's 1 of 2 remaining. You see this one top still being here, and they're going to make their way up there, so just take care of business in that sense. Dr. Repulser, he's kind of still being a nuisance at the top lane. Look at Swiftblade, though. He's going all the way up here with the Invis rune. He's going to try to catch Dr. Repulser off guard, but...
It's the wrong hero, though. Deadwood needs to be, if anyone.
That's true.
It's like, Swiftblade's just going to be like, oh yeah, and then Dr. Repulser's going to ult away, but... He's getting top racks, though. They need to defend right now.
Yeah, they do, and they're trying to, but they're going to get stopped. Pharaoh goes in. Deadwood's now in trouble. Deadwood's going to end up falling here, looks like. Clanks at least turns it on to Pharaoh. But Doctor got the melee racks, and he's going to TP out right in front of them.
Clanks has no space for a TP as well. He needs to have Ghost. This is the reason why, you have to have post haste as your 6th item, because this is the stuff that can happen. They lose the racks now, and they lose nothing really in return. Yeah, Pharaoh dies, but that's nothing big. That's a really big turning point, honestly. And like I said, they had no catch potential. Literally, Swiftblade and Jeremiah were just hitting Dr. Repulser, but he was like, yeah, I'll just take racks, don't worry. You're not really a big threat to me. Yeah. And then he just TPs out right in front of him, because what's Swiftblade and Jeremiah going to do? He's got a Brutalizer now, I guess, but even that, I don't think it's enough lockdown to deal with the Dr. Repulser.
Yeah. Swiftblade top lane, okay, never mind, he's fine. There's the post haste, so yeah, has it now. Obviously, taking what happened there in that fight, but great play definitely by Flensmeister. And it takes you back to the silhouette game that he had against, I believe that was Willowkeeper last week even, or maybe it was Nullstone actually, but anyways, point being.
Yeah, I know what you mean though. I think it was last cycle actually, but yeah, this just goes back to the draft as well. They have no way of really dealing with this Dr. Repulser outside of Deadwood. Which is something that I've mentioned time and time again. Like, Clank is good and all, but in terms of punishing any sort of split push from Sync, Clank doesn't have any of that.
Yeah.
So.
Top lane, you got Doctor back up here once again. He's got 5,800 gold saved up, by the way. Of course, he still has 2 of his buybacks now, 6,000 plus. He's
gonna go.
Yeah, I mean, he still has a Grave Locket. I mean, you figure probably replace that slot right there.
I mean, it could be Frostfield plate, but a lot of the damage is magical still because of Clanks. But middle lane, Pebbles.
Yeah, they're going for another jump, but no, Mickey reacts just
Deadwood's
in time
behind.
Again. Yeah,
Deadwood's lagging behind.
Deadwood to be in the front.
Deadwood is literally the only one that can set up in terms of initiation and catch potential. Without that, there's no way they're going to kill Sync. He picks up a stronger net actually, which is I was wondering if he was going to go with that or not. It's pretty decent, like I said, because Clanks does predominantly magic damage. And it helps him as well, just in case, obviously, Tortured maybe gets land a lucky stun when he's TPing out, for example. It's just... Shrunken Head is never a bad choice, regardless of what kind of game up.
Yeah, Veldra on Glacius right here, the rest of the team going around. He's going to go past the ward as a result of the Veiled Rot. Trying to catch anybody out on the Hellborn team that may be kind of peeking in, and that could be... But boy, he's a little pushed up, but no. Falls back before that opportunity is given. At least for now. Oh my god, we are jumping in. Pebbles, he gets a big combo right there. Pharaoh comes in. Dr. Pebbles, he got the Soul's Blessing up, but will it matter in the end? Swift Blade's dropping. Clanks again, though, on the outskirts. He's putting in some damage. He has the Soul's Blessing, the charm. He's running through the energy field, though. Needs to be careful with that. And actually, he's going to end up dropping right here, as will the rest of his team. Jeremiah did survive. Can he actually make it back to the well in time? He can, but it's him and Torturer who both end up surviving, and that's not really the biggest deal, though, for Sync.
Yeah, and that Shrunken Head was doing a lot of work from Flensmeister as well. Clanks was focusing so much on the Flensmeister, but like I said, when he picks up the Shrunken Head, he doesn't do too much damage. And I mentioned a little about the build from Clanks. He doesn't have the greatest raw physical DPS, and this is because obviously he's still got the Thunderclaw, which is something of worry. That's his final buyback, and I don't know. Deadwood is still dead, so is Swiftblade. No buybacks, 3v5. Sync, they don't want to push it though.
Yeah, they're kind of just poking in, but in the end, not going to go too far with this. Dr. Repulser sitting on the outskirts here. We'll see if they maybe fall for a jump on him. I mean, he doesn't have his teammates necessarily nearby him. He's going to sit on the mines now. He's going to go elsewhere. Going to go to the top lane. He is out of mana with that said, so a little risky play by Flensmeister here, but it's going to not matter in the end, as he will be fine. And gets back before any catch happens right there. But, yeah, you can just tell Sync has kind of sucked it all momentum. Savage Maze on Sania. He did go the No Fire Blade. He's like, might as well make myself into a hard-hitting right-click hero. And that's accomplished with the Savage Maze, so pretty solid.
So troll though, if you can just pick up maybe like a sheepstick or something, but he does hit kind of hard, I guess. But it just seems so counterintuitive though, seeing as he's picked up the Void Talisman, so he can't even right click. But and to be fair, I don't think it even matters at this point though. But oh well, Pharaoh is gonna fall down.
Casey goes down. There you go. Picked off in the middle lane, and actually he doesn't have a buyback, so it's there's an opportunity definitely here for Resync Gaming to make something happen.
Pharaoh is a Pharaoh though, but yeah, they might be able to try. I think this is the best opportunity to do, if any, I guess. I think they're scared of maybe the buyback from Pharaoh than just getting wiped and then losing the game because Clanks has no buyback.
Yeah.
They really do need to get this Congor though, and this is what they're going to do instead, because if Clanks dies without a buyback, then game's over. I think he should definitely take Token over Thunderclaw, but they're scared even to take Congor. Which is quite strange.
Mickey,
Pebbles on mid lane.
Is he in trouble? Where's Deadwood? Where's Deadwood? Where's Deadwood? There's Deadwood. Finally get in there, and actually Pebbles now in a lot of trouble. He's going to end up falling right here. Yeah, can't get the supporting cast in time. Does he have a buyback? He does. 4,000 gold on him. Look at Dr. Repulser, though. He's just pushing the middle lane.
He killed Near.
Yeah.
He's going to kill Torture as well, most like. No.
Oh, and now there's more supporting cast. In fact, they're going to try to chase down Doctor. Doctor is out of mana. Jersey sitting on with the aura. Meanwhile, back at the bottom lane, Clank's going in right here. Glacius feeling the brunt of that. However, going for the melee racks out. Pebbles buys bad. This is really interesting right here. Doctor's still alive. Pebbles. Whoa, my God, what the was that? Was that mines?
Yeah, it was mines.
That was all mines, wasn't it?
He was sitting on mines.
Oh my gosh. They just all went bye-bye. Jeremiah, he's the only one up all of a sudden. That was just I thought they game bugged or something. I mean, they just all disappeared. That was weird. But no, Sync Esports, yeah, great execution. That was. I mean, the fact that Doctor was basically doing a 1 versus 3 really, because obviously you mentioned he killed Swiftblade earlier, and then was dealing with Torturer as well as Jeremiah, and then obviously at the base.
I think that's games though.
That's probably gonna do it. Yeah, you see Quincy doing the math. 300 damage times 9 mines equals dead Clanks. That's a fact right there. Well, Sync Esports, I think they're going to take it in a very entertaining fashion, though. I must say, this is definitely one of the more entertaining series of Season 3 here. And pretty fun to watch, but Reason Gaming will fall just short. But really, what competition they brought this cycle as a whole. And Reason Gaming, I'm sure, a mix of not only gaining some fans here from the cycle, but really getting momentum, like I said, at the perfect time, if any. Just with the one more cycle coming up, then we got the playoff stages to eventually earn a trip to the World Finals in Thailand. So if you're going to get hot, this is definitely the time to do it. And right now, Reason Gaming is most certainly going to be that next team in line, I think it's safe to say, outside of Sync Esports. That's looking competitive and looking strong. So I know this game still isn't officially over yet, but you can kind of tell we're in that overtime stage now. As is it Mega Creeps? It is, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Mega Creeps.
That pretty much makes it too. So.
No, I think you're definitely right though, and I mean, I think everyone's, including me to an extent actually. Doombringer picked up on Clanks, but he doesn't have a stronger head, so he's going to just die with it, unfortunately. But no, I think you're definitely right though with about the playoffs. We all thought that Reason, we sort of brushed them off and sort of wrote them off kind of thing in terms of them being useful, or even perhaps a playoffs in terms of maybe going to Thailand. But in this case, man, just from this showing alone, they have shown a lot of promise, and to me, they've been definitely at least the second best team, obviously, in Hon so far. They really have impressed me, and like I said, I think that the gold sort of cycle they had last season was definitely a refocus on the team, sort of objectives and sort of the mentality and motivation, and it's definitely paid off. And I mean, they were close to winning this game as well. Honestly, it was just a couple of good plays from Sync as well. You mentioned it breaking in the mid game where Reason were looking very, very strong. It takes the best team or a very, very good team to really come back from games they probably should lose.
Absolutely, and that's definitely what we've seen here. So obviously, Reason Gaming, I like seeing this too, especially when your backs are against it's just if it ends, it's over. Any play this out and see if anything crazy can happen. As you mentioned, the Doombringer pickup on Clanks. Got a Wingbow Engineer, yeah. In a sense, it's like Insania's kind of controllers to an extent, but at the same time, I mean, the fact that he was able to build and do a hard-hitting right clicker is pretty crazy as well. There's nothing wrong with that on top of it all. So he's going to take advantage of the farm that he has. So here we go. This should be the final push. I mean, the Shrine's basically dead anyways. So this should do it in. You see the good squads pops. Clank's going all in right here with that Doombringer. Oh, Pharaoh misses his ultimate, but not the biggest steal in the world, I think it's safe to say. Goes over the barbed armor, and Clanks is like, do not want to attack anymore. Oh, he's able to stay alive at least a little bit, but Sync Esports, they are going to pull through. No, maybe not. He is able to fight them off. Okay, finally goes down. Finishes it off with a hat trick, but Cycle 7 officially goes to Sync Esports here in Hon Tour Season 3, so congratulations to them yet again. Their 6th out of 7 cycles that they have officially taken for Hon Tour Season 3, and dominating fashion, not yes and no. I mean, they played it very impressive themselves, but it's no doubt. And again, they stated that they are not fans of facing off against Reason Gaming. They know that they're a quality team, and kind of showed throughout both yesterday as well as today's series. And it's understandable why, because Reason Gaming is looking good. But it is about Sync Esports in the end, so keep it focused on them, as they are the Cycle 7 champions. So, again, we've already stressed this one especially is big for them to take home their share of the prize pool. Because outside of that, as far as the standings go, they're in the first place spot, and that's not changing no matter what happens going into next cycle. So they're going to get that automatic trip to Thailand, so I'm sure already feeling pretty good about that. But, hey, you throw another $10,000 on top of that they earned from this cycle. Not too shabby, and to help them move along here. So congratulations to them. Obviously, Reason Gaming, 7,000, just over 7,000 as a result of second place. And then it breaks down from there. So it is officially over, though. Again, game 3, and overall the series does go to Sync Esports. And but like I said, it really was an entertaining series, though. And definitely a shout out to both teams for providing that. So Well. I think that's going to start wrapping things up, though, for today. It's our mini here. Any final thoughts overall and anything else?
Not really. I think it just goes back to Reason really being a very top team, and I think so far from what we've seen, I think they are probably the number 2 team. Tree have obviously had some good showings, but I think Reason I think their experience sort of pulled them through, definitely sort of taking it into at least the final. And that's why it sort of edged out Tree. And I have to admit, Break, the playoffs are going to be very, very tight and very fierce competition. Like, obviously, you've got Reason now looking very, very strong. Obviously, Tree were always firm favourites and perhaps going to Thailand. But then obviously BMG now as well. Obviously, they got qualified from Gold. And I mean, when you have legends like Haxter and obviously Super KG, you can never count them out. So,
That's it. Again, the playoffs are still a little bit around the corner here. We obviously got the final cycle, the cycle number 8, and as you pointed out, BMG going to be seeing them back, and with Shrek is Love as well, definitely deserving credit. So it's going to be a fun finish to the regular season, and then going into the playoffs, and how that ultimately is going to play out. And we got some busy times ahead of us. So here with this cycle wrapping up, as usual, we will go into the 1 weekend break. But after this weekend break, it's going to be a lot of constant Han coming at you, not only with Cycle 8, but into the playoffs right away, and that eventually lead us into the World Finals, which, once again, more information definitely going to be kicking in once we get closer to that, which will take place near the end of March. So it's been a fun season. It still has much left to go, and including the most important parts, of course, and including that it starts with Cycle 8, not next weekend, the following weekend, which will be, let me double check, that's going to be January 31st is when we're going to be coming back here on Honcast after Han Tour with Cycle number 8 with the Round of 8, of course. So another big congratulations to Sync Esports taking yet another series here and another cycle even here against Racing Gaming. But it's going to be fun to see how things continue to develop moving forward here. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to pretty much wrap things up here for tonight's show, as well as the weekend and everything. So, again, shout out to all the teams. And, hey, both yesterday and today, like I said, pretty much going the distance in a sense. At least we had 3 games in all the series. So, that was pretty cool to see. And definitely got a lot of great Han out of it as a result of that as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, full shout out to Quincy as well. And also, he is going to be casting, by the way. Quincy's going to be casting his some replay casts, as he tends to do over there. So twitch.tv/Quincy0191. You can head on over there if you would like and watch some of those replays. But as far as Honcast goes, again, going to be wrapping up for tonight. So there we go. Now officially wrapping up, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, have a good night. We'll see you next time. Congratulations once again to Sync Esports, your Cycle 7 Han Tour Season 3 champions. We'll see you next time. I lied.
What, me?
I lied. We're still on. We're still on.
We're on stream, right?
Yeah, no,
right.
We're live on stream.
Nice.
Here,
so we can't talk about all the leaks we was gonna do, yeah? No? Right.
So don't say anything. We're back. We're back. Let's see if he comes on here. Insania!
Ricky!
Hey, how's it going?
It's going pretty well.
Going pretty well?
Feels good to win. Yeah.
Again? Feels good to win again?
Again.
Yeah?
Yep.
You had some fun there at the end. Engineer play.
Yeah, I mean, when you have Mick on the team, everything's easy. He lets you farm, then you get to carry, and he throws people into your mines, so you look good. I don't know.
Oh, that was sexy. What do you think of Recent Gaming? I mean, they clearly gave you some competition both yesterday and today. What do you think of their play?
I think they're a really competent team. I mean, ever since season, let's say like second half of season 1, I've thought both Zane and Imbaboy are like insanely good players. They're absolutely crazy. They don't get half the attention they deserve. But they've never really been able to like function as a team. But they're finally starting to puzzle the pieces together. Mm-hmm. So they're looking strong now. I feel like them. I'd say I think we rated them as the number 2 team in the world before the cycle started even. So yeah, we have a lot of respect for them for sure.
definitely. And, like we keep going back to you, there's a time to get hot. It's definitely right now with the end of the season coming up and into the playoffs. So, you guys, I'm sure you know well by now that Sync, you've secured the #1 spot. You're good to go in that sense. You still have one more cycle to play, of course, and obviously the money's always nice too. But how does it feel knowing that at least you have that trip to Thailand guaranteed this time around? Unlike last season where there was little uncertainties with the teams and whatnot. Hey, you made it out there last season, of course, as well. But no, what is it like knowing that, though?
I mean, when I first joined the team back in May, this was the goal, Thailand. That's what we were aiming for. And it feels good to, have been able to reach the goal that we set out for ourselves. Now there's only one step left, and it's to win.
That's still a little bit of time here, but obviously that'll be the end step there in the end, of course. So, again, so Cycle 7. So going forward to Cycle 8, I mean, what's the deal with practice and what are you guys still going to be as focused as usual, or your usual resume as far as not necessarily maybe practicing non-stop by any means, but at least scrimming a little bit, or is it just going to kind of go into it, just having fun with it?
I mean, we take every cycle very seriously. This is what we do for a living, and we want to win every game we play. So of course we're going to take next cycle just as serious as we took this one.
All right.
Maybe practice a little bit more because we were pretty sloppy this cycle, to be honest.
What do you think of how have you been liking patch 3.6? By the way, obviously a lot of changes happened. This was the first cycle since then. You've been liking a lot of the changes, or what are your thoughts on all that?
Yeah, I think it's been a good patch. I was a big part in creating it. But in general, we just have so many more heroes to play. I don't know if you guys casted the game, but we actually ran Martyr after they reworked her.
We did, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, and we ran Sandwraith, and we ran a bunch of heroes that we haven't been running in the past. So it's fun to see some new heroes on the scene, like that you can pick, thanks to these buffs.
We saw a lot of that this cycle too. We got a lot of we got several new heroes this cycle. We're still getting new heroes, which is pretty crazy to think.
Yeah.
We only have there's probably only 15, maybe 20 heroes at the most that haven't been played yet in Season 3, which is actually pretty crazy. So, but yeah, we'll say from a spectator point of view, it's definitely very entertaining as well, and we're enjoying that. What do you think of the Clank's factor? Is that a hero you may think to ban next time against Raising Gaming? You do face them, or?
He's strong, man. He does a lot of damage until you get shrunken heads. It's the problem for me is when I think of the hero is that he forces his team to play around him all the time, and then it becomes very easy to just dodge them and farm up every hero on our team. And as long as we don't make any major mistakes, we're always going to outfarm the other team when they have a Clanks, because he's going to get all the farm, and then we have 4 heroes or 5 heroes that are competing with him, and he can't stand against all of them.
Well, when you have an engineer with a Savage Mace, a Wingbow, and a freaking Hellfire Blade, I mean, that
should have had that Doombringer too. Game just ended.
That would have been pretty sad.
Had my name written on it.
Almost.
Yeah.
Well, but yeah, I mean, Mitty, do you have any questions here?
Yeah, particularly about the playoffs. If you had to say that, okay, I think saying who's going to go to Thailand is probably a little bit too hard. But who thinks that the top 2 who's most likely going to go to Thailand, and why?
Okay. Let's see. Let me think. Reason Gaming, Nullstone, Tree, Ogre, Dawn.
Really? Ogre?
Well, he's listing them.
I'm just trying to list the team.
Oh, sorry. All right, sorry. I got it. Yeah.
Okay, so I think every single team, they have pretty much one big flaw, but they could they're all very, very even. Even Ogre, in that list, they just have one big flaw, and it depends on how they match against each other. I think if Reason matches against Tree, Reason are gonna have a very hard time. Whereas if Reason gets matched against pretty much anyone else, I think they're gonna ride through the bracket with ease. So depending on what the brackets look like, I think it can be hard. Because the teams, the matchups are really important between them, I feel. Mm-hmm. It's just playstyles. But I'd say top 2, Maggot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be Reason Tree.
Okay.
But I don't know, I think Ogre, they've been practicing so much, man. They're playing so much TMM.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Reason Ogre in the finals.
Really?
Dang.
Wow.
Yeah.
Giving Shrek his love.
Dude,
some
practice makes perfect, man.
It's true. So when you said obviously one big flaw for all the teams, I'm assuming that's going to be draft / sort of leadership. Is that correct? Strategy kind of wise.
No, it's different for every team. Like there are just some major flaws that you can really abuse. Like they have tendencies, and they just stick to them very, very hard, and they don't break these patterns.
That is.
And yeah, that's it.
I got the standings up here. I'm just kind of going over them, and yeah, it's obviously you got other teams. You know, Bad Monkey Gaming, by the way, they actually defeated Trekislov today in the grand finals of gold, 3 games to 1. They came back. Yeah, they were down 1-0 too, and they ended up winning 3-1. So, any concern of the new BMG roster, or are they just gonna?
I don't even know. I don't even know
who is playing. I don't even know. Let's check this out real quickly.
I think it's Palais, Super KG, Haxrin, and 2 others that I have no idea.
Own Me and Tank Effect.
Okay. Wait,
they have Pallet?
Well, they had someone else. I heard they had Palais as well. Maybe that was the first couple of games.
Yeah, they have Pallet, yeah. Or Game is Grim,
well.
I guess. This guy, maybe? I don't know.
That's Pico Payback from TMM. I know that is.
Okay.
If Pallet is playing, scratch everything I said. BMG are taking our spot, dude. That guy is crazy. He ranked for us in TDM the first time we beat Cole. Yeah, Pallet's insane.
All right. Well, there you go. Yeah. Hey, they had a good run here, and again, they actually got knocked into the losers bracket at gold early on, so that was a little worry for them. But they came back and eventually even won the grand finals, of course. So that's they will be back in diamond. So we'll get an idea of how they're gonna match up. That would actually, if they lost the grand final, they would have been matched up against you guys. That would have been a fun first round matchup. But you guys get to play Sharkus Love instead. So again, a great team. Anyways, that's not for a little bit here. So well, I think that pretty much does it for me, though. Any shout-outs, anything else you want to say, Rancinia?
Of course. Big shout-outs to Cooler Master, CM Store. Make sure to check out their webpage. It's, I think, coolermaster.com. Just Google Cooler Master and you find it. We've just received a bunch of gear from them, and it looks really good. Like, I don't know. I think I've been back in TDM. We played for Razer, and I don't know. Their gear was weird, but this actually feels really good. So you guys should check it out. Seems legit good.
So you're still known as Sync, but you're just sponsored by Cooler Master, guys.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes. I think that's the way the contract was. I'm not sure.
We'll
slap
figure it out
man.
eventually.
You gotta ask up. Yeah.
We'll figure it out eventually. All right. No, cool to hear. But no, again, congratulations on the grand finals yet again here, and well, look forward to seeing you in Cycle 8 now coming up here. So thanks again, Insania.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. So there we go. Now it's official. Now I think we're good to officially throw this out there, yeah. So do apologize for that. Kind of jump the gun right there, but Tania coming on and talking to us about what happened, and looking forward to next cycle as well, and everything else. So, all right, now I think we're gonna officially again wrap up here. So again, ladies and gentlemen, have a good night. We'll see you next time here on Honcast. Head over to Quincy's stream if you like as well, as he is doing some replay casting over there. So this time for real. Have a good night, guys. We'll see you next time here on Honcast.